champions. Let's see which iterations of these teams shows up onto the Rift. It is the final game of week 2 here in the LEC, and we're jumping into draft. G2 Esports on the blue side. Their very first ban is Draven.
Tiller is a very, very solid Draven player, so a lot of respect coming out from him. Already targeting that bot lane, don't want to give Esports any opportunity to get back into form here in this game.
Yeah, I'm looking at Yuumi. I want to see Yuumi get a win. That probably means that Vitality have to leave it open for G2.
Especially because Jack Troll is responsible for 2 of Yumi's 5 losses here on the European stage. Still available. Perks will lose access to that Sona as Vitality banned it away. Next is the Rise. And of course, you never know what G2 will play. I wonder if, after seeing Hylissang's Pyke, it will raise Pyke in their ego priority lists.
Ego priority list, I think Silas has to be up there as well. I would say, just generally, objectively speaking, I think Silas is one of the strongest champions around right now on this patch. And G2 Esports, the fact they can flex it between Wonder and Caps, and the fact that, in my opinion, Caps is the best Silas that we can see, I would be very surprised to see that left open here from Vitality.
Yeah, there's also the Jarvan that I'll be looking at specifically. It's historically been a very good champion for both of these junglers. Jankos has played it in all 3 of his games so far this split, and he's used to just sort of crowd out his opponents in every single game. Level 2 fights, ganks, all that sort of thing, and that could be a really strong champ for him.
We are going to see, there's the hover of the Yuumi. And it's locked in. All right, we might just be seeing Yuumi set up for a first victory in the LEC. Fantastic stuff. I was listening to Perks on the E4 podcast the other day, and he was saying about how ban this champion, I don't want to play with it, I don't want to learn it, it's kind of complicated, can't be bothered with that, but finally, G2 are going to play it.
Yeah, and I'm actually most curious to see what does Perks want to play alongside it, because we've seen, I think, the Ezreal and the Sivir be the 2 most effective champions, but, you know, Perks has a more unique champion pool himself as well, so that is definitely something that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on here.
Here's an interesting question for you. Yes! Okay, fantastic.
All right, let me just, slide this in there real quick.
Do it.
We've actually seen a little bit of Pyke Yuumi bottom lane, specifically played by Reckless and Hylissang on their stream. I'm not saying we're probably going to see it. There's a Nico in this as well, but Nico's been a champion that Wonder has liked to play. We might be seeing some shenanigans here.
I was going to ask you, if you were going to play a mage in the bot lane with Yuumi, what
Nico
mage?
Works too.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nico is a decent setup for that. Yuumi has good engaged tools with the speed up if you attach yourself to someone that wants to go in. Nico absolutely is someone that wants
Yeah, and regardless of if the Pyke and Yuumi are going together, Yuumi on an invisible champion is terrifying. All of a sudden, it's 2 people coming out of the Fog of War, appearing on you almost instantly with the movement speed as well. It is going to be a very scary thing for G2 to be using and running into Vitality with.
Gentlemen, I'm going to ask the most unfair question a play-by-play has ever asked his color casters.
Oh.
Where are these champions going for G2 before you've seen the Phase 2 picks?
Oh, Yumi's going bot lane. Now it's your turn, Ender.
I'm going to say right now it's probably a Pyke top lane and a Nico bot lane would be my guess, but I'm leaving it up to
I'm actually going to say Pyke mid and Nico top.
Ooh.
I think that Wonder's going to run this into the Jays.
Why not, G2? Why not?
Yeah, that's my sneaky suspicion here. But honestly, this is the terrifying thing about G2. Everything is a flex pick for these guys.
Well, the Nautilus was locked in, and as you mentioned already, it's a very good pick into the Yuumi, very good pick into those champions. You can get double the value from any of that CC, and that point-and-click ultimate can be a game changer.
I also just like how much CC Vitality is bringing across the board. When you think of G2, they play a lot of, montage champions. They want to be running around. If you can catch them with very reliable CC, you can instantly burst them down. And on top of that, they have this Jace for Cabo Shard, probably his best champion in the top lane, and a champion like the Sejuani try and play around him and get him snowballed in this one.
Did you 2 play montage champions, or are they the montages themselves?
Why not both?
Why not both, indeed?
A very, very good question, and we'll find out this game. Xayah locked in for Attila, so a little bit of safety there, leaving their mid laner pick, most likely here, last pick for Jazuke. And we're going to get an answer. We're finally going to figure out where this Nico and this Pyke are going for G2 Esports. Remember, G2 are 3-0. If they win this game, they'll be with Fnatic at 4-0, and it is a Yorick locked in.
Is it happening here? We can see the Pyke go into the mid lane as well, but there's still options. We aren't going to be 100% locked in. Jankos has his option now for jungler, the Elise or the Jarvan. Both early game champions could be good.
I wish you could have seen the Shoutcaster cam when Ender uttered the words that could be Pyke mid. Foxtrot was definitely the epitome of humility.
A superior analyst?
Of a superior analyst. And it is Elisa locked in. The final pick is Echo, another Jizuke special.
It's a Jizuke special. It's signature Jizuke here. If you want to get this guy some confidence back, give him his mojo, put him on one of his most comfortable champions. I really like this here for him, regardless of what he's going up against.
To be fair, we actually don't know for sure if this is Nico in that mid lane, you know. You did mention that Pyke Yuumi bot lane combo.
I'm calling Pyke Yuumi bot lane right now.
Yeah, I mean, you said that Fnatic have been playing it on their streams. We might actually see it on the LEC.
And then we might be getting their AP Nico mid and the question mark of who is the best Pyke in Europe. 20 seconds has passed. Perks will add his name to the list of G2 players that has played a professional game of Pyke on stage. I believe Jankos will be the only one remaining, which means G2, you have a new challenge for the rest of the summer splits.
Yeah, you want to get him on that Pyke. See who is the best Pyke on G2. This is going to be really fun to watch right here. G2 pulling out very special comp up against the signature Jizuke pick for Vitality. This will be good.
I'm reckoning the Pyke, the Yuumi will be on perma roam duty this game. Whenever that G2 plays Pyke and it's not as a support, it's not in lane that much, and you have a two-man roam squad now, it's going to be terrifying.
And welcome back to Berlin and the three fans cheering Vitality's name after the army of supporters yelling, "Let's go G2." Dredgeline already will find a target. Perks is running for his life already. Vitality are invading into G2's jungle, but they will not overcommit, and there's no further follow-up.
And if you're watching ProView at home right now, you will notice that every single player on G2's side has wished their owner, Carlos or Ocelot, a very happy birthday.
And so have the fans in Berlin. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the final game here of Week 2. And Foxtrot, how would you approach what appears to be a pretty solo queue-esque team composition here from G2?
I think G2 are the epitome of solo queue-esque. I even think when I was watching MSI and their games against Fongwu Buffalo, to me, watching those games made me feel like this is what G2 plays like in scrim/solo queue. They were just the way they run around. They seem to be the team that has the most fun on the LEC. And I'm sure there's no coincidence there. They're also the best team in the LEC. That's the ticket. Just have fun.
Yeah.
It's just a game, guys. Enjoy yourself.
I swear on stage before every game, you will hear Jankos. If you're here at the studio, you'll hear Jankos yelling at the top of his lungs. I don't know what about, but he just is completely unchanged and having a great time.
And to be honest, for good reason, when he's playing on the best team in the world right now, Vitality going in for that early trade. Attila and Jack Troll not going to be dying at level 1 thus far. It's an improvement from their previous game.
Oh man, it feels bad that that's actually true. But nevertheless, the Xayah and the Nautilus now coming into what is a very unique a 2v2 lane. Ender, you were talking about this. You said you've seen it on stream as well. So what is your expectations how this Pyke Yuumi should be, advancing over the next few levels?
Honestly, it's a duo that will really struggle early on. And as someone that likes to play some off-meta stuff in the bot lane like this, you'll notice that early levels, you're going to want to let the wave push underneath your tower. You're just going to be trying to farm. Think similar to top lane Pyke, where most early laning phases, you will struggle, you will fall behind in CS, but you try to get some levels underneath your belt, and then once you get a jungler down in the bottom lane, or you just leave bot lane entirely and roam around with the invisible Pyke plus Yuumi, the slow from Yuumi's Q as well, going to be undodgeable. It gives you a lot of options to snowball come, the later stages of early game towards mid game.
Right, and you only need to cast your mind back to when Wonder was playing that Pyke. Pretty much the exact same style, where you kind of just give up the early lane phase and then you play more towards the gank setup and for the roams. This time around though, Mickey will be able to follow him and make their roams that much more potent.
Yeah, you also have an exhaust on Mickey as well to make sure that no one can escape from this Pyke once he does get on towards you. And also a lot of tools try and set up for big AoE from a Nico as well. You have slows there too with the Glacial Augment on Cap. So this G2 composition is going to be very interesting because with just the press of a couple buttons, they will run at you so fast, close the gap. Even without tons of, heavy CC pick tools, they will be able to catch you out.
Yeah, and they've got so much damage as well. So if any member of Vitality is caught out, which has been a problem they've been facing over the last 2 weeks, then will go down very quickly. Jizuke gets a lot of very good damage onto that Nico in the mid lane, uses that Time Winder very well, and Jankos is already setting himself up for a potential dive. Wonder escapes the gank up in the top lane, and now looking for the Cocoon. There's a teleport coming in as well. Jacktroll and Attila are already being targeted. That's a double root, but it's already a dead bird as Jankos will set up the first kill with the help of Caps. Do they fancy another shot? The minion wave is still here. Jankos and Caps have backed away.
Jizuke on the way. That's a hook on towards the Elise, gonna go up into the air. There's a teleport too from Cabochard. The fight's unfolding.
Not done yet. Jankos is running away with a sliver of health. Jizuke is about to go after him.
The Bone Skewer manages
he got him.
line, but Mickey goes down. Vitality get that turned around, and this time around G2 back away.
There was so much dedicated into that play right there, but crucially Mowgli wasn't around. So advantage Vitality right there, having the Sejuani be able to have a bit of free time to farm up here, which is what you want if you're playing Sejuani, right? You want to get to that level 6. Don't really want to look for these early plays.
Yeah, also there was this huge gap from when G2 got that first kill onto Attila. He actually respawned and TP'd back into that fight to pick up a kill.
All right, Perks will be able to escape for now. Lands a Ghost Water dive just as he's escaping Attila and Jacktroll.
Let's see this one again right here as well. Now this is the power of the Elise pick and why we're seeing it a lot in the LEC, because she's really, really good at these early game dives. Because what Elise can do is she draws tower aggro and then she just pops right up into the repel and drops it down. In this scenario right here, something takes tower aggro, but I don't know what it is because no one uses the repel and they're just perfectly juggling it around. But they're here for so long that it allows Vitality the time to counter this play and pick up some kills of their own.
Yeah, Jizuke also making that rotation back down there, and Attila, of course, able to get the root, double root there with the Nautilus passive as well to catch Mickey X in transition towards the rest of his team.
Okay, we saw Mickey dying on the Yuumi. The Caps will be the recipient of a gank here. Gets turned up in just a moment. Not gonna happen. Parallel convergence comes up. That's the dive in the tower. The double root though. Caps flashes for his life. Now Mowgli's in trouble. Jizuke uses the ulti to get back out to safety and made it very, very close. Not done yet. That's a flash forward and the dash. Perks is helping out, being helped out by Jankos. And that's the double root. Jacktroll and Attila doing a lot of work. Perks is very low. He's got no death from below. And as he stepped out of vision, gets the health back.
Great job there from Attila and Jacktroll to absorb the pressure, losing summoner spells in that exchange, but they stay alive, and still Mowgli is not playing for them. He's up towards this top side, looking to maybe catch out Wonder.
Well, let's find out if he can. Wonder's in so much trouble. Locks in Cabochard and Mowgli, and despite the eulogy of the Isles, it's simply not going to matter. Mater of the Mist will get some damage down. Wait, what is this? Mowgli forced to run for his life. The ghouls won't find him just yet. Cabochard.
He's dead!
How did that happen? I didn't see the final tick. Now Jizuke's in trouble. He's got no ultimate available. Pop Blossom goes up. So does the repel. Caps doesn't find the kill, nor does Jankos, and they run for their lives.
That's what we were talking about with the dive from Elise and the repel, but I'm not really sure what to say right there. Mowgli took so much damage from Yorick's girlfriend right there, and 2 hits from the minions just finished him off.
Managed to work. I didn't see the autos flying. By the way, just as I have a moment, I need to ask everybody that has a Twitter account to answer the following question. Will Europe see its first Yuumi win? Go vote right now at LOL Esports. She is 0-5, but now she's being piloted by G2.
And this started off really well by Wonder, trapping both Cabo and Mowgli in the cage, but look at the Maid on the Mist right here, or the, I don't even know what that looks like.
Why does he turn around though? Like, what are you doing, buddy?
This is the thing, like, there's loads of these little minions knocking after him as well, and here it is, the 2 little laser beams, they're following him.
They're even hitting him the wall. He doesn't see him coming.
Bam.
He just gets ganked.
Absolutely blasted out of here.
Is that what Tilt is made of?
I think so, Trevor. I really do think so. Now, here Jizuke gonna get the shield. Mowgli does dodge away from that fight in the bot lane.
Yes, it is. Vitality are not done yet. Just as I asked the question about will Yuumi win, Yumi's in trouble. The kitty cat being helped out by Pyke actually steps out, steps in. You and me, Perks, that's the plan. Perks is taking Vitality on a run through his jungle and dive through the ghost waters. Mickey steps out, may be able to jump back in, and he does. Blast Cone will deliver it. Mickey goes down, and Perks, by the way, spent so much time for every member of Vitality.
Yeah, and you know, as much fun as I feel like we're having with this game, it feels like G2 are actually sort of throwing it away. When you look at their composition, like, what scaling options do they have? They don't have a late game marksman. Your physical damage is mainly a Yorick, which doesn't output a ton in a team fight. It's more of a side lane threat. So if the game slows down, if they're not able to build up a large lead, I feel like Vitality are going to be able to come in and feel very comfortable in these mid-game fights.
And one of the criticisms I've had of Vitality watching them play so far in the summer split is their team cohesion has felt a little bit off. And this right here is the second 5-man play that Vitality have pulled off.
Check out the top
G2.
lane.
It's another one.
Gentlemen, we're not going to get much time to talk because it's just action aplenty. 6 kills already, another dive up top, and Foxtrot. We're heading on to this compositional talk, but it's Vitality in the lead.
Vitality are having a very, very good start here. Reminds me a little bit about the SK Gaming match that we saw yesterday. But how G2 in this early game, they're really throwing everything at the enemy team here. It's not like they're kind of slowing down by any means, but they are absorbing it very well, Vitality, right now. They actually do have themselves a little bit of a gold lead, and as Ender was saying, they'll be happy with this because as the game goes on, they have very good tools to win in that kind of 13-minute mark of the game.
Especially when you think 3 of the 4 kills that Vitality have secured, Cabochard's been involved in. He's secured 2, working towards his first itemization right now. He's by far the best performing member on the Vitality squad this summer, and he's got a champion that can absolutely take over the next few stages of the game. Now, Mickey and Perks will find themselves a prowling projectile, not going to be able to go fishing for that Xayah, and Vitality have started off Drake.
Yeah, I like this here from Vitality. The more fights they can get, the better with this competition. Attila at level 6 as well. This should be good for Vitality if G2 commit in.
All right, let's see if the fight can happen, though. Vitality not going to find the opportunity. The Dragon was secured, so Vitality continue to pull ahead. They get the first neutral objective in that Dragon. And that's going to be very impactful for them if they're able to actually break away and try use some of that regen. It's still early on in the game, and there's not too many turret plates down.
I feel like that was a bit of a missed opportunity for Vitality to actually turn on G2 right there because they have the ultimate from Sejuani available and there's no teleport on Wonder. I think they may have been able to push that one down, but either way they do secure themselves a Dragon, and of course at this stage of the game, especially when you know you're going up against the best team in Europe, you don't want to throw it away with over-aggression.
Yeah, you don't want to give anything up here in Vitality. I think compositionally, very comfortable. They have the tools to split into a 1-3-1 later on, and especially if you can find a kill mid.
Wow, they can. That's going to be a Pop Blossom to buy some time. Cap stays alive a few seconds longer. He manages to find the route onto Mowgli. Goes golden, thanks to the stopwatch. Mowgli escapes by the skin of his teeth. Jizuki needs to pick the right target, and he does, but he's not going to find it. The route is flashed away from Jizuki. Doesn't even have mana. He can't escape. He couldn't use the ultimate. Didn't have the time. Jizuki goes down, and that is just chasing the loss.
Oh, he tried so hard for it, but he knew he couldn't turn back with the ultimate. Perks and Mickey were on their own. While that happened, though, it's 2 turret plates picked up by Vitality in that bottom lane, so they're still gaining gold on the map, and because Jizuki, it was just an execute, they're going to be fine with it.
Not too much lost right there. Mowgli obviously surviving with the aftershock as well.
Just barely.
Very, very close. And Yankos looking for perhaps another dive.
Oh, that was a fantastic cocoon locked inside the baby cage. That is about as beautiful as it's going to get.
Yeah.
Very simple, very clean.
Looking really good now, especially because I think once you approach the level 11 mark, this Yorick is going to be winning out very much in a side lane. Working on that Trinity Force as well. You do outscale this Jace, I feel, unless he commits hard into like the Blade of the Ruined King, which he's not going for. It does limit some of Vitality's side lane options later on.
And one of the really scary things about Yorick, and one of the most underrated things about him as well, is just how good he is at taking towers down specifically. We'll take another look at this play against Caps in the mid lane here. Mowgli takes the initial tower aggro and gets the aftershock with that stun E hit and survives on just a sliver. Jizuki here only has to wait for his E cooldown, but as Ender mentioned before, he cannot ult back towards his Ghost because he's got other G2 members coming down, gets the execute. It looks a little bit ugly, but no kills go down.
Yeah, no kills go down, no gold given over. And I do have an update on that Twitter question. Now, Berlin, I'm going to need you to yell the answer when I ask the question, all right? So I'm going to try this. This is brave. Berlin, will Yuumi win the game? Give me a yes or a no. As the action's going on, that's a very clear yes. 70% of you guys at home said the same thing, and Wonder is now picking a fight with the help of Yuumi. Here she comes with a death from below, delivered onto Cabashard. Mowgli as well.
And G2, just when it looks like they're having a bit of a rough early game, G2 do G2 things. And they always find a way to just outplay the enemy team, picking up a few kills there.
Yeah, because no one's bot lane. They're just moving around and looking for the kills. He's not done just yet. Perkz will miss it, but he knocks him back.
So nicely done. Perkz flashes forward to get the blast cone. Gets knocked up by the Nautilus ultimate, and Spider Nautilus pulls himself to safety for now. The first tower of the game falls in favor of Vitality, and the Maiden in the Mist is picking a fight up top. Now Yuumi is in a little bit of trouble. Mickey's going to jump into Perkz, and now Jackshot gets caught out. Yanko's to the flash over the wall. Cocoon and a Venomous Bite will secure the kill. That's a repel up. Remember, spiders eat birds at some parts of the world, and definitely here in Europe. Yankos isn't done yet, though.
Yeah, they're looking for the hook onto Attila. They land the Cocoon.
And they get the kill as well. Are G2 done yet? They got the tower. Foxtrot, this is looking good for G2.
Oh man, G2 just picked up everything right there, and this is it. When G2 play Pyke in solo lanes or even in duo bot lanes, they just permanently roam around the map. When you have that Yuumi, that extra firepower, Vitality.
Wow, they're going to be in so much trouble. Yes, that was a chrono break to keep Echo alive a few seconds longer, but now the fight's not done. Wonder, he's decided to teleport in. You and me and Zoomies! Mickey keeps Yankos alive, picks the right target at the right time, finds another Cocoon. And Yankos will sink his fangs in for yet another.
The rest of Vitality are on their way. Jack Troll, does he want to? I don't think so.
This is the final chapter. Caps is going low. He's forced to run for his life. Cabashar can't get over the wall, but he's got the flash available. He's not going to chase, and G2 look finally to be done.
How long did that passage of play last for?
Is it even over? I don't know.
Now the answer is no, because Perkz finds the boat
my
skewer.
word.
Did not have death from below, but I was expecting a further follow-up.
We need a break at some point here. That is ridiculous. That was genuinely like 3 minutes of extended action, and sadly for Vitality, most of it was in the favor of G2.
Right, on behalf of the LEC, I would like to offer a formal apology to anybody who wanted to breathe during this game. It has been very high intensity. I would like to try slow it down a little, despite the chance here in Berlin. Let's talk about these team compositions, as G2 has played the skirmish game, they played the pick game, and they've got the gold lead.
Yeah, I'm so glad you bring that up, Quickshot, because right now it's two very different styles. G2 do not have the late game insurance of having an AD carry, so they rely on just continually running towards Vitality and using their surprise pick tools with the invisibility of this Pyke. They need to continue to up the tempo for the next 10 minutes of the game, because we will reach a point when Attila hits 3 items that team fights are just not that feasible for this G2 composition.
But that's perfectly fine, because while all this was happening, while Vitality's been grouping up to try and match G2 and really get that lead in the early game, Wonder's really been sitting on his island. Not only did he take that that tower in the top lane with all the plates, he now has it was a 2-level lead over Cabashard, but him having this lead is going to be really hard for Vitality to stop, with this Yorick permanently pushing down his lane.
Yeah, it's also a 1,500 gold lead for Wonder in that lane too. He's hit that level 11, as you mentioned, so the side lane is very much in favor for him. The question is, can G2, post the 30-minute mark, actually rely on him to build up enough of a lead in a side lane, or can they continue to play this pick style and fast forward this game?
Well, G2 seem committed to it, Ender. 16 minutes in, as I mentioned, 1,500 gold lead for G2. They've clawed back that small deficit they found themselves in. 4-1-2 for Yankos, 3-1-2 for Wonder. Both of them with their first big ticket items completed. The Runic Echoes, the Triforce. Caps has picked himself up a water pistol in that GLP 800. And we're still working towards some of those items. Wonder's got very good timing on that little baby cage, as every time Mowgli and Cabashot seem to step forward, he does delay them and land the skill shots.
It's a bit like when Wonder picked up that Pyke in the top lane. I kind of thought to myself, how good was he going to be on this champion? Because it is not a top lane champion traditionally, and it does have a lot of little nuances.
Well, we'll find out the end of that story in a moment. Pop Blossom goes up, but the Prowling Projectile in the final chapters means Attila's going to get some light reading. Not yet, because he doesn't go back to the fountain. Mickey goes so low. He goes down. Jackshot gets one back. That's the 6th of the game for Vitality. While that was going on, there was another skirmish in the river. Here comes Perkz and Yankos. They're trying to find another engage under the tower.
But they're not going to be able to find the pick spell right there, G. G2 going to have to back away, and Mickey does fall down in that fight, so it is Vitality with the advantage.
And while all that was happening, Cabochard lost his flash in the top lane as well, still conceding the side lane. It's going to be a real problem now for Vitality to defend against this G2, specifically Wonder on the Yorick.
Now, I am happy that G2's playing a very new comp, a different flavor, a different style. They're playing into a little bit of a chaotic type of game that Vitality is actually very comfortable with. But this is one of the more competitive games you've seen Vitality play. But bearing in mind last week, they had a good first 15 minutes, and they made bad decisions between 20 and 23 minutes that then cost them the game. So this next 5 minutes of gameplay, decision-making, positioning, lane assignments, that's what I'm looking at Vitality for.
Exactly. It's going to be so key here. We'll actually watch this as, Caps went really deep to try and find Attila right here. You see he gets the double pop on the Q as well for a lot of damage on towards Attila, who does have to kite back with his own ultimate. But because Mowgli is here and the rest of G2 is trying to scrap with Jizuke in the river, it gives a lot of room now for Vitality to turn and find that kill.
Yeah, Mickey got a little bit over-aggressive there, trying to finish off Attila too. Gets caught with the root under the tower. Very easy to die when you are playing Yumi because you have like 3 base health, so you're pretty squishy. Mickey found that out right there.
Yeah, not meant to be, alone, really.
No.
Using that Yumi as much as possible. On the Vitality side, Ghostblade picked up for Cabo. Proto Belt for Jizuka, who's on your screen right now. He's going hunting for perks. In the dashboard, use that Proto Belt. Sidesteps the Bone Skewer to the Ooze in Berlin. And Rapid Fire Cannon as well as Essence Reaver for Attila. So scaling, itemization, developing.
Look at this.
That's one prowling projectile. That was an invisible pike. Chrono Break comes out. And now Jizuke will be locked down, stunned up, dead from below. Perks gets the kill.
Yeah, that's just the 0 counterplay combo right there with Pike Yumi. Now Jankos on the prowl. He dodges from the ulti, and they're going to find Jack Troll.
Oh, man. Cocoon manages to connect. Jack Troll gets pulled backwards. Another death from below.
2 kills for Perks right there. If you had any wonders on whether Perks could play Pike, yes, he absolutely can. Another attack on Caps.
Oh, will he get away with his life? No! Cabochard puts the hammer down. Vitality get another.
3rd time, 4th time, 5th charm. Can't really remember which time it was, but finally they do gank Caps and they actually kill him.
These teams just will not slow down. Attila gets caught, and he is deleted.
That's so much damage right there from Jankos' Elise. That's ridiculous.
I mean, it is terrifying. Got himself 1.5 forward items, rather, working towards another. Now Mowgli's in trouble.
That's a rip barrel too.
Do you know, every time I see a G2 member step forward, I just think they're going for the fight. 19 kills in 20 minutes, Foxtrot. This is madness.
Constantly going for the fight. I mean, you said it, right? You said at the beginning of this game, this looks like the most solo queue composition. And the way they're playing it, this feels like the most solo queue game. So the fact that they're constantly going forward and they don't seem to have any breaks. We saw a little bit of this from Fnatic in the last game about how they're always pushing forward and eventually wearing their opponents down, which really, for me, when G2 and Fnatic play next week, is going to be an absolute blast of a game.
No doubt about it. G2 versus Fnatic, the way it's looking right now, G2 will go undefeated into that game. And this was the POV, from Perks.
You can't see that prowling projectile from the Yumi when the Pike is in his invisibility. So the second that Jizuke drops beneath the threshold, it is going to be a kill.
Also, keep your eyes on Perks' reactions. This is the face of a killer, ladies and gentlemen. Emotions? Come on, Perks, smile. I'm not even watching the game anymore. That was a smirk. I'll take the smirk.
His lips moved.
He said something.
He's absolutely terrifying.
Maybe
emotionless.
Maybe he said smile. Maybe he's been programmed in such a way that he just says it. That's how emotions work with robots.
It is indeed. Of course, you can check out his view if you want to. But for now, it's going to be another kill. It's Jankos that goes down. That's the second time he's dying. It's going to be a little bit of bounty gold going his way.
That's a teleport.
The Spooky Ghost as well. Mowgli's going to be in trouble. He will get caught out. Bone Skewer comes out. Death from below secures yet another kill. The 13th of the game for G2 Esports.
This game is getting absolutely out of control right now. We have 21 kills in 22 minutes of gameplay. And it's because both teams have such strong pick tools that, G2 makes a play bot side, Vitality make a play in the mid lane. It's all over the place.
It absolutely is. Jackshot gets away with that dredge line. Attila throws down the ultimate as well. That could be problematic if G2 fancy a re-engage. And they do. That's a prowling projectile.
Oh,
Attila
no.
Oh my word, G2 are shooting fish in a barrel. Sorry, they're shooting bees in a nest right now because Vitality are falling out of the sky.
And they're snowballing it completely. Look, it's just that one kill onto the 80 carry of Vitality, and all of a sudden, the inhibitor turret breaks. Jizuke's still in that bottom lane. It's Yenko stopping him from recalling, and they just keep going forward.
Jackdaw gets caught out once again by that Dark Procession. Wonder's connected so many of those abilities, and now Mowgli's being run down by the ghouls. The inhibitor's going to fall, and Cavo Shot steps forward. This might be trouble.
I know it's my job to talk about video games, but this game is leaving me a little speechless. I don't have a word to describe how G2 are playing. It's happening again.
I'm going to use the word beautiful as yet another kill. 5-1-7. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, I ask you, who is the best Pyke in Europe? And why are 4 of the possible contenders on G2 Esports?
G2 just looking so good, trying to chase down Jizuke, but this is what G2 do all the time, is once again using that invisible combination, trying to catch out Attila. Perkz is caught.
Let's take a look at what happens. Yeah, Perkz stays alive for a few seconds longer, needs to get out of visibility if he can. Death from below, what's up, not going to happen just yet. Still survives. Unbelievable.
Perkz was not caught. Perkz was the bait, and Vitality took it hook, line, and sinker. Now it's just up to Jizuke and Mowgli to try and hold on to the Nexus, but I don't think they can do it.
Oh, I don't think that they can. The Nexus turret is going to fall, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time in Europe, Yuumi will win a game. G2 Esports are going to use this crazy composition to take down Vitality. 20 kills in 24 minutes. They're not done yet. There's 2 more possible. Death from below puts another auto from Cap, secures it. Caps finally goes down. Vitality get the 10th. The Nexus is being focused, and if I know G2, they're going to want to dive. The Winions are doing the work, though, as Attila's trying to slow them down. The Nexus is going low. Cocoon will not find a target. G2 will look for the kills before they look for the win. That's 23. They've got 1 more to find. Just do it. G2, go for the fountain. Go for the kill. Didn't find the bone skewer, found the projectile. How much of this is bordering on the line of griefing? Finally, the Nexus will be focused, and G2 will face Fnatic next week.
What a spicy game. Was that 33 kills in like 24 minutes?